Cage does come out better for Furia. Cage are knocked down to just 2 HP. And Vinny watching them push down in connector. It should be a bloodbath. There's so many Brazilians here. Henny has opened up his account with one Queserato from the backside, leaving Cristo in a 1-on-3. 40 seconds. They know where he is. And if they weren't alert to his presence before, he just closed the door in their face. And Vinny will return in kind. But it's a bullet rather.
And it's someone that obviously coming in from AGF as a team that is the academy of North. So it's something they're going to look to keep. A little bit of damage being done in this round. Although actually they've got it back into a somewhat doable position. If this goes wrong for Vinny, there could be some trouble here. He's actually going to clear out Cristo, no problems. And Yuri's there to support.
At the same time, yeah, absolutely. Like you have to look at Reyes here and say, he's got to impress us in some way. It's Henny though. That breaks open, putting those M4 frags down range, and then obviously later on you expect him to peek up the AWP. Perhaps not. Art with his own M4, locking down long, and Yuri drops the bomb onto balloons. There's not really much that Letcro can do about this. It wasn't a hefty investment though. North will have a full buy in the next round, but it's only one casualty in the form.
Obviously, Henny, from what we've seen in the past, was someone who was very family focused. It could just be him being far enough away from Brazil for so long that maybe it's causing some issues. Who knows? It's all just conjecture, but I don't know. I just can't feel like it's purely performance-based to try and get rid of him. Cage him, though. That's huge. A double kill in the connector. Of course, this is somewhat of a bonus round, but they have invested into that AWP, as you mentioned. Henny needing to land some shots, but Queserato retaking short B.
Some pretty serious ramifications depending on this trade. If Reyes can just about hold on, throws in the Molotov, you can see what he was looking for, but maybe by the Swede of Letcro carrying the bomb in. Flashbang on top of it. Shadow betrays Cristo. Henny spins around, but can't land the shot. Letcro punishes him and nearly takes down Queserato. If he had have picked up the...
There's like, the rule on Overpass is that you really shouldn't fight outside Monster too often, but he doesn't abide by the rules. That's something I've learned throughout his Counter-Strike career, is that, well, they could overwhelm Henny. AWP up close, the support actually looking over towards long. The problem is he doesn't miss too many shots, but Letcro, the tasty Deeg shot, always been one of my favorites to watch with that weapon, and proving why once again. The time though, the bomb's on the floor. He has to just pretty much kill everyone here, although, oh, he actually fakes it. Maybe expecting them to be closer than they were, and Queserado's just not going to fight this. A lot of damage done. He needs to survive with the power we saw when he burst onto the scene.
For sure. I think a lot of people, as Henny is getting the pick of the frags, he was being very patient, knowing that Fury was up close with him. Arta's got a secondary AWP, and he's made it work. And the second spotted so early on, it just allows Vinny to push around the back. So there's not really any options. There's no way that he can push in and survive. He knows it as the Furia.
Just taking picks, but normally in a, I don't want to say passive way, but in a way where he can get out of there. This time, though, he's actually going to be punished. But Queserato, he's 9-1. Only got his first death a couple of rounds ago, and since then it has been nigh on clean for the side of Furia. They are utterly dominating, not in terms of their finances, but in terms of the rounds. There has been nothing other than that attempted clutch from Letcro. Reyes, well, unfortunately, he's not even going to get his second kill.
And because the kills are being taken away from the heavy hitters. So North, outclassed in a lot of different metrics. Skate, though, is going to get the opening pick. The first time that I can really remember where North have actually had an advantageous position. But can they do anything with it? Because Henny is pushing up long. He is waiting to find a pixel to execute off. Gade goes in for a second. Now Yuri's gone down. B site is very vulnerable. And Vinny decides to push into the smoke of Monster to try and mitigate some of those issues, to nullify it. Henny comes out swinging with the AWP. Vinny checked the angle and had a double take, but it was too...
Which is the main problem, but for North, there are two players desperately low. Potential of a free kill, but Gade is on a tear. 3 kills for him in this round. He was previously an entry fragger for this side, before he was an in-game leader, and before that, things up. At the same time, I'm not certain this will be the final roster. Like, Kriaz, from his time in Gen G, I don't want to really base too much off of that, because he was literally just slot into a roster that didn't really make much sense. That was just thrown together for one event to try and, well, at least maybe keep their spot and do a bit of damage along the way. And in some of the matches, he did all right. In some of the matches, he stood in for other teams. He's done
a lot from two inexperienced players to come into this and perform really well. So this is where you need some of those veteran experienced players to take them under their wing. Lekro
he has a little bit of support, but it's back towards the connector, so the reliance will be on him. Now, Gade has the bomb, so a peek here would be so risky. That's so much information, and more so, they have to try and reclaim this. The flash avoided, but they have got the bomb. Actually peeks back in and does a lot of damage to Henny, who attempts to try and find another himself.
FURIA are so good. They have a great read of the situation. There's one flashbang, but a beautiful entry from Kriaz. That being said, though, they get caught with grenades out. Lekro still comes out ahead. 4 seconds, and Kriaz puts the bullet into the head of Yuri. What a turnaround from North, and it's one of...
To the 3K that Lekro managed to find with the Deagle, and not in too bad a spot whatsoever. Gade as well is going to start.
Overextend, make some mistakes. No reason to really save anything. May as well go all in. See how much damage you can inflict, how many bodies you can make hit the ground. But so far, it's only FURIA that will be going out. And don't want to drop the AWP or those AK-47s across to the CTs. Give them a free trade-up. Play it passively. They're playing this round perfectly. Excellent anti-eco by the Danes plus Swede. And they'll move through to a third round. So FURIA being shown to be able to bleed a little bit. But I'm not going to put too much faith in a North comeback just yet, Tom. I need to see after this game. Maybe go through a couple of these ideas. Yuri, though, is picking the brains, but with bullets. However, can't transfer into a second. A lot of information was gathered in the process. So even though he only got 1 kill, you feel like his positioning is worth so much more. Serato double spray with the M4, and Cajun, who's gone unseen as of yet. It stands to reason he probably would either be long or the B rotation player, so Henny will not miss his chance.
Against them, and because of that, the full rotation's available. Art doing art things. They're walking into each other in the smoke, and Chris is actually going to win the duel. The other side of the coin for the in-game leader, Serato, though the flash is flawless from Vinny. An unsung hero a lot of the time in this FURIA roster, with Serato just on an absolute tear so far today. It's still going to end up in a 3v3 situation, but now Yuri's taking map control. I feel like at this point, Vince, they're just pushing all over the map.
Yeah, that is effectively the FURIA way. They are so good at doing this. One of the reasons they are so damn fun to watch, and Yuri just pops in behind again. It must be a real nightmare to play against. One of the most frustrating players in CS. He always seems to get the perfect timing on these flanks, and there's Vinny on the short pipe. Difficult to operate on.
And once again, just could be a few pistols invested. One of the rounds they were actually a little bit more successful was based off these pistols. Art's been caught a few times, but I guess in this sort of match, it doesn't really matter as much as it might do going later on into the tournament against B. Gives them a chance for some more close-range battles. The problem is Yuri has been pretty stellar so far, and they walk around the angle without actually checking the stairs. Oh, this is just easy pickings for him. 15 kills now.
They can't breathe. They must feel so constricted. And look again, Yuri is having no chill. Straight down the throat, straight down the heart of North. AK headshot and just pieces out. Simultaneously, by the way, they pushed 2 players out Monster, and now they're going through short pipe. And if there's any justice in the world, Cajun's going to get both of them. Does he? No, only 1. That's not good enough. And now Yuri, who pushed outside of mid, has now shown his hand in connector. And they just can't stop pressing W.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to my point of before that FURIA is probably the worst team they ever could have faced against in this tournament. Like, it's just not fair. Like, you could... Gade's in a fairly good position here. The problem is getting the bomb down when you have someone like Serato around might be a little bit more difficult. Christo's forward. Make it more difficult for them to try and retake, try and find these remaining players. And Gade now having such a powerful angle versus Serato. It's left all onto Henny. He's got no time, and the IGL will lead him.
Yuri is basically all alone. He just has to take as many North players with him as possible, and he won't get a single one. And that will now be a weapon traded up if Kriaz can get into position.
Well, Gade is...
Yeah, they love it, man. And they've got an interesting off-angle setup as well. This isn't a spot that you typically play in, but the Case Serato can sit there because Henny had the long side of bathroom covered. And now Vinny, who's made a move up, has Henny to pivot off. Oh, it's just beautiful. Flawless plays from FURIA time after time, and they will lead.
And there's another thing doing something about it. I think many teams have started to go, well, I know what they're going to do, and then got killed while they're doing it. Already, though, not a bad... I don't think it's necessarily a surprise.
Yeah, they're already running into some potholes, some twists and turns, over-facing a cliff, but Henny has put the Glock to use alongside Art. There's only one kill that sprung up, make that two. Lecro, awkward angle with the USP. You can see that FURIA are respecting not only the rotation, but Lecro's positioning, but Case Serato on the fadeaway. Brain play from Lecro. He knows that Art is going to be the information gatherer. He posts in position, he gets himself one kill, and he knows that Art is over here, so he can instantly put his aim down sight to try and take off the head of Art. He's running out of ammunition, and he's running out of health, and he goes down. But I've got to say, Tom, that is such a nice effort. You could
Players here.
There are. Gade and Kriaz, though, have been tagged down so heavily. Kriaz still threads the deagle shot into the AWP, I should say. Anytime soon. Henny is coming straight through the smoke. Case Serato spins around on a swivel and shovels away Christo, and the rest is falling into place. There were a couple moments, Tom, I agree, where...
Now the stack, again, it's a good read. They've got everybody in place. They might be able to get a kill or two here as they all looked around the corner. Nice initial shots coming in from Kriaz, but the trades come in thick and fast.
Yeah, it was basically the... And with 15 HP, he'll feel like this area is just way too hot for him to hold on to. Christo flicks and misses. And that is a huge part of North's defense that goes with it.
Maybe a few nerves creeping in. First map back on the roster that's already kicked you once. Kriaz, though, he's had his moments. Just try and find Art once again, and we'll turn things back into a 3-on-3 situation. Quick rotation, though, coming out from FURIA. They've already looked to pounce on the other side of the map, and as said, Henny has just not been missing today. 19 and 9. I believe he's the top fragger in the entire server. While Gade... He's had a few hero moments. I think 2 of the rounds that they've managed to win have pretty much solely been area
Of B site, looking to hold on to his M4. Kriaz, miles away in playground, keeps his AK batched without really breaking a sweat for the Brazilians.
Oh dear. It doesn't look like it's about to get any better. The beginning of the end, it seems, as Vinny starts off with an opener. This is to look at positives, not really for North, but in general. FURIA playing this well and just dominating is a very good sign. Like, this is what I wanted to see from them, to have any faith that they were going to do well in this tournament. They needed to come out here and just put on a show, and they have absolutely obliterated North from start to finish. It is looking like the last 2 players of Cajun and Christo, experience with youth, attempting to win a 2 versus 4 situation. I'm not holding my breath, Vince.
No, that would definitely be a good idea, Tom. I don't want to lose you because, I mean, Christo and Cajun, they're just dead men. They're dead men walking. They just don't know it yet. And now Cajun, 13 HP. Lucky for some, unlucky for others. And FURIA have put this down. They've...